Hello friends, this is Dr. Shikha here. Today we are going to discuss about the Q angle, its clinical importance and physiotherapy management. So angle is a very important clinical parameter. It is related to the knee joint. It is measured widely for athletic population. So in this video you will got to know about the Q angle, how Q angle deviation occurs and how it affects the mechanics of knee joint, and the most important thing you will got to know about the protocol for correction of the Q angle and the physiotherapy management. So we'll start the video from now. Q angle. Q angle known as quadriceps angle. The Q angle or the patellofemoral angle, patellofemoral angle is the angle between the quadriceps muscles and the patellar tendon. So anterior part of the knee muscles are quadriceps femoris, and here quadriceps femoris changes or merges into a patellar tendon. The Q angle, the quadriceps femoris angle, is one of the most clinically used parameter for evaluating the quadriceps forces and the factors acting on the patellofemoral joint. It is considered to be as an indicator for sports performance as well as in the diagnosis of several patellofemoral painful disorder and diseases like chondromalacia patelli and anterior knee pain, which is very painful condition. Let's see how we can draw the Q angle. So Q angle is formed by intersection of two imaginary lines, right? So first imaginary line that is drawn from ASIS to the center of patella. Here you can see the highest point of iliac crest is anterior superior iliac spine. So our imaginary line taken from here ASIS, and then we will draw it downwards towards the center of patella. You can see this is the center of patella. It is mentioned here as well. Then the second imaginary line is a line drawn from the tibial tuberosity to the center of patella. So these two lines are intersecting over here and they are forming an angle, and this angle is known as Q angle or the quadriceps angle. So these two lines represent pulling forces that are acting on the quadriceps muscles and the patella. So 10 to 15 degrees of Q angle is considered normal. Either knee can be in a slight flexion position or in full extension position. So Q angle is slightly greater in females as compared to the males. So in a female, the reason are because first reason is they have a wide pelvis. Their pelvis is wide and oblique shape. So wider pelvis give rise to greater Q angles. Then the angle here, femoral anteversion angle. Femoral anteversion angle is called as femoral neck forms an angle with the femoral shaft. That is called, the angle is called as femoral anteversion angle. Normally it is 120 degree, but in the females again femoral anteversion angle is higher as compared to male pelvis. And third, females have physiological more genu valgum as compared to the male population. So these three reasons give rises to Q angle that is slightly greater in females as compared to males. Measurement of Q angle. The angle is traditionally be measured in the supine position with the knee in full extension. Standing position is also considered more suitable as it mimics the joint biomechanics during the daily activity of life. It provides useful information concerning the alignment of pelvis, leg, and foot, Determination of the Q angle is particularly important for patients who are athletically active, both in competitive and the recreational sports. It is also necessary to measure this angle in female patients who walk for health or who climb stairs frequently and who perform running activities. Method. Patient will be in supine position with the knee extended, with the hip in neutral position, and make sure the foot also in the neutral position. So patient will be in supine position. You can see the knee is extended, hip is in the neutral position, and here you cannot see the foot position, but make sure that foot also in the neutral position. Ensure that the lower extremities is at a right angle to the line joining both ASIS. So your lower extremity should be at right angle, 90-degree angle with anterior superior iliac spine. Now we'll draw a line from anterior superior iliac spine to the midpoint of patella. So first imaginary line will be drawn from anterior superior iliac spine to the, you can see here, midpoint of the patella. Then second line, draw another line from the midpoint of patella to the tibial tubercle. So from the tibial tubercle, you will go to the center of the patella, and here the lines intersect with each other, and here they are forming an angle. So this angle, the resultant angle formed by the intersection or crossing of these two lines, is called as the Q angle. Before understanding how this Q angle impacts patella position, it is important to understand that how patella moves or how patella works, right? So we will see patella motion. So patella has four movement. Medial shift, you can see when the patella is coming to the medial side, it is called as medial shift. Then patella can shift towards laterally, lateral shift movement. Then there are some tilting movement present. So we have medial tilt, when patella tilts upward and medially, medial tilt. When patella tilts outward and laterally, it is known as lateral tilt. So patella has these four kind of movements. Patella movement along with tibia. So to check this, we check over the inferior pole of patella while tibia performs flexion and extension. So in first diagram, you are seeing that tibia is going into extension. So the patella is moving medially and upwards. Now, when tibia is performing flexion, the patella is moving laterally and also it is moving in the inferior direction. Clinical significance. So any alteration or increase in Q angle increases the lateral forces that are applied on patella. Increase in lateral forces increases lateral patellar compression, thereby it predisposes the patella to pathologic changes and increases lateral patellar joint stresses. It can be a reason for patellar shift, patellar tilt, subluxation, and when it increases to the limits, it can also cause dislocation of the knee joint or patella. This is a CT film of knee joint with the skyline view. Here you can look easily at the pressure changes in the film of patella. So here it is patella, you can see the femoral, so it is the medial side and the lateral side. Okay. So you are seeing here the equal distribution of pressure whole of the joint space. Equal pressure distribution between patella and the femur. Now, when we come here, so this is the medial side and this is the lateral side. So you can see here the forces are, there is compression at the lateral patellar space. There can be certain mechanical factors that can increase lateral forces on the patella. So the very important and most commonly found one is imbalance between the vastus medialis and the vastus lateralis. So vastus medialis and lateralis is parts of quadriceps femoris. So medialis is found, you can see medialis is found over medial side of the knee joint, whereas lateralis is found on the lateral side of knee joint. So when the medialis muscle is weaker and the lateralis becomes powerful, then also it gives rise patella to shift towards lateral side. Presence of tight iliotibial bend. So iliotibial bend, we all know it is situated on the lateral side. So again, when this lateral side of bend gets tighter, it again start pulling the patella towards the lateral side, again give rise to increase in the Q angle. Then laxity of medial retinaculum or the adaptive shortening of lateral retinaculum. So when this medial portion, medial retinaculum gets relaxed or lax, or when tightening is assumed at the lateral retinaculum side, then it also increases the Q angle, increases the lateral forces on the patella. We are going to discuss a very important part, the correction part. So physiotherapy management for correction of patellofemoral or abnormal joint forces that are acting on the patella, which predisposing the patella to increase in the Q angle. So let's have a look on all the aspects. Protocol for correction of patellar malalignment. The most important thing that we are discussing is the physiotherapy management part. So first of all, the utmost importance is given in the treatment protocol is the cryotherapy. So cryotherapy, if your player or your patient comes with excessive of pain, so cryotherapy should be advised every 2 hours for 15 to 20 minutes. If the pain is little bit lesser, so at least 3 to 4 times in a day cryotherapy needs to be done, and again 15 to 20 minutes. So cryotherapy helps in healing and it involves Lewis-Hunting reaction, which is very helpful for the vasodilatation and the vasoconstriction. Ultimately, the aim is to get good healing. Then stretching is emphasized. Stretching of the lateral thigh musculature that includes tensor fasciae lata, your gluteus medius, maximus muscles, your IT band, which is usually very tight in when there is increase in the Q angle. Most important is shoe modification and correction, because most of the time your foot alignment changes and that's why it increases the Q angle. So there are anti-pronation kind of shoe inserts that are available in the market, so you can have them and get a neutral foot. Hip and knee strengthening exercises. A special emphasis is given to the vastus medialis obliquus strengthening, because we have talked it earlier that VMO gets weaker, so the lateral side of vastus lateralis takes the role, gets dominant and pulls the patella towards the lateral side. Limit foot pronation. So to check foot pronation, there are various good kind of labs that are telling you when you are putting your feet and goes into excessive pronation. So you can get yourself and checked out from there. And the most important is patella mobilization, because mobilization helps in providing nutrition to the cartilage. So whenever you are mobilizing the patella, so the tighter structures that are surrounding the patella is the lateral retinaculum. So when you mobilize it, it gets a release phenomena and helps in pain relief. So it is very important. So you have to take care of all the things. You have to do good cryotherapy. You have to be with less pain, less inflammation. You have to stretch your thigh muscles very well. Your shoe modification plays a very important role when it comes to increase in patellar mal alignment. Your hip and knee extending exercise should be very nicely done. Emphasizes should be given to the VMO strengthening. Foot pronation should be limited. So for this you need to get your foot pronation checked out. Patellar mobilization is very important. If you guys find the session interactive and informative, then please do like, share and subscribe. And please write to us if you have any suggestions, queries. We'll surely get back to you. I will share the link of the description of knee joint anatomy and physiology, as well as hip joint anatomy, physiology, muscles and plane. If you have missed out, please check them out and it will be very helpful for you. Thank you.